Hello, everyone. Today was a pretty well. It's honestly hard to describe. I suppose I could call it a so-so day. I'll call it a so-so day, and I'll get to why. Oh, sorry. Anyways, and I'll get to why right now. So when I woke up this morning, I decided it would be a great idea to go to the kitchen and get some water. So I got some water. And when I was done drinking it, I remember oh gosh, what happened after that? Oh yeah, I wanted to listen to a Digital Foundry podcast where they were talking about Project Helix and what it means for the future of Xbox, as well as their opinions on Sony apparently putting an end to their PC port initiative. And yeah, pretty similar to the conversation they had the other day. I guess they just got into the more deeper nuances of it. I don't really want to go into what exactly was talked about because I feel like I was repeating myself. So I'm just going to say I was listening to the podcast as I was folding and putting away clothes in my room. My sister then knocked on my door and asked me if I'd be interested in having a sandwich with beans, roast beef, and egg. I accepted the offer and she decided to make it for me, which I was very grateful for. So I continued folding and putting away my clothes, and once it was all done, I went. Uh, I was told by my sister that the sandwich was ready, so I went out and she asked me if we could watch an episode of the Simi and Jimmy show, Vincent the Atheist. So I was like, sure, let's do it. I looked up on my phone to see if there were any new episodes available, and sadly, there were not. His last episode was like 3 weeks ago, and it was about Christianity, but the thing was, we only finished about half of that episode. So I thought, okay, well, I suppose we could finish the other half. And my sister was down for that. So we ate our food while watching the episode. It was very edgy, very abrasive, but also very funny. And then after we were done watching that, I remember my mom wanted me to mow the lawn in both the backyard and the front yard. So I got out two 20 volts Craftsman batteries. I put those in the charger for 20 minutes, used the restroom. When I came out, I decided to pop those batteries into the lawnmower. And then I went ahead and started mowing the back lawn. Thing with the back lawn was that we hadn't cut the grass in like 3 months, so it was getting really, really long. My mom wanted to record me cutting the grass. It was actually our first time today cutting the grass in the backyard. So I pushed and I pulled and I did the best I could to get that grass down to size. Um, and then when I was able to get it down quite a bit, my mom wanted to try, so I decided to let her try. And then when she tried to turn it on, the device would not turn it on. I tried to help out by showing her how I turn it on, and even how I turn it on wouldn't turn it on. So it was proof to me that something went wrong with the lawnmower. We tried to take it out. Maybe we thought, oh, maybe the batteries were all used up, so we can just charge up the batteries and everything will be fine, right? So we took out the batteries, we put them on a charger, and as they were charging up, and we set the electric lawnmower to the side, um, I sweeped up the shredded up grass blades that were around the area, threw them in a green trash can, which I also brought up to the from the front of the house, and I also remember. Oh, right. I need to bring up the trash cans. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, and I brought them. I brought the green one in. We threw out the grass, shredded up leaves. My mom got a weed whacker and shredded up a little bit more of the grass on the sides. And then we tried popping the batteries, because by then the batteries had been charged, into the lawnmower, and we tried turning it on, and the lawnmower would not start. It was such a sad experience because we've had that lawnmower for like, I think 3 or 4 years, and it's already dying on us already. Maybe we gave it too much to chew with the long grass, perhaps. It's entirely possible. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but we're hoping to see if there's a way to fix it so we don't have to buy a new lawnmower, because lawnmowers are expensive. Um, so after that, I decided to go ahead and um, go into the house. I was getting hungry. I decided to deep fry some more chicken tenders. I had those. They were from frozen, by the way. Um, and yeah, they were okay, but they kind of gave me a little bit of a tummy ache because I reused the oil from yesterday. Not a good thing, because I know that leads to oil being oxidized, and you know that has a lot of bad negative effects on your body. I'm well aware because I've done a lot of research on that. But I just wanted to see what it would be like to reuse the oil, and yeah, not a good idea. I decided to ask chatbot how many times oil in a restaurant is reused before they fill it with fresh oil. Apparently, for like 7 to 10 days for a standard restaurant, which honestly is insane. It's kind of terrible, not gonna lie. I prefer fresh oil, but I know that probably gets expensive. They don't want things to get more expensive, but what are you gonna do, I suppose? After I was done eating my meal with the Chick-fil-A sauce, a can of Diet Pepsi, and some Naked Cheetos, my sister wanted my help bringing her to a nearby location to get some art prints. So we went off to this area that we used to go to. We didn't go to, but we went through all the time when we were younger, when we needed to get to school. And yeah, it was pretty bizarrely weird walking through this area, because back when we used to walk through this area to get to our school, we were like young, and everyone around us was like college age. So now we're walking around. I'm like 27 years old, and a lot of these people nearby look like they're between the ages of like 18 to 22 or 23. And so now I felt like the old one. It was kind of surreal. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, dang, this this is crazy, because it was like a college campus area that we were walking through. That was like a good shortcut to get to where we need, like the school we need to get to when we were younger. So yeah, and we did take guest parking, and it was for my middle sister. She needed some art prints that she got my youngest sister help with. So yeah, once we got the art prints, we carried them back to my car. We drove off. I needed to get some air in my tires, so we drove off to the nearest gas station that allowed for free air. We pumped that in to the tires. The thing was that normally the air pump has a little indicator that tells you that how much air is in your tire, so you know if you filled it up right or if you overfilled it. And the annoying thing was because the indicator was not working, it was hard to really understand if we were doing it right. So I made sure to go over into the nearby gas station convenience store, and I decided to let the assistant manager know about the issue, and they stated that they would call a technician to come in to work on the problem. So I thanked them for that, and then I went out and we drove off. Well, when we got home, we my sister wanted to bring the print supplies that she will be taking with her and my middle sister to a con. They're going to a con to sell my middle sister's merch to fans of comics and entertainment. Um, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So yeah, when we arrived, I decided to use that time to just kind of chill, listen to some Preston Dennett videos of him talking about supposedly real encounters with extraterrestrials, like on board encounters. While I was listening to that, I was eating honey bunches of oats and drinking coffee. And then, when I was done with all of that, um, it was then time to get ready to go see the movie Hoppers. Now, my middle sister, sorry, my youngest sister, she, who's older than me, by the way, she originally expressed interest in seeing the film, but then today she decided she wasn't interested, which was fine. People's minds change, so I had to cancel her ticket, get a refund on that, and so yeah, it was just going to be me and my mom because our family friend also decided to not show up because they stated their leg was hurting and they didn't want to bother traveling to see the film. So yeah, it was just me and my mom. We went off to the theater. When we arrived, we got our seats. Um, there was like bunch of like different films that were being showcased in the theater. Uh, not many of them really captured my interest. There was like this one like humorous gag at the end of the Minions and Monsters movie trailer that my mom thought was the most funny thing ever. It was like the Minions awakened a mummy, and then there was like a minion using like a bathroom, and he was like, "Oh no, ran out of toilet paper. What am I gonna do?" And then he grabs the like mummy's like wrappings and decides to use that as toilet paper, and then he ends up unwrapping the entirety of the mummy, and then all the other minions are like, "Oh, come on, Bob." So that got a huge laugh out of my mom, so that was pretty funny. Everything else though looked really mid to uninteresting to me. Like there was an Animal Farm movie that looked lame. There was a movie about like a deadbeat dad that also looked pretty lame and honestly kind of, I don't know, disconnected from like modern like family life, I guess. I don't know, it just looked weird. Wasn't a huge fan of that. Yeah, but we ended up watching the film, and I will say this film for Pixar did break tradition. Normally, when I go see a Pixar movie, I expect that there's going to be a trailer. Sorry, not a trailer, a short, like they usually play before the movie starts. But there was no short they played before this film, which broke with tradition. Because I'm pretty sure every other Pixar movie before this one had a short play, if I'm not mistaken. Part of me wonders the reason why there was no short this time around was because the team was like the group of like animators was stretched thin. Like you had like one group that worked on the TV series Win or Lose um, for Disney Plus, and then you had the other team working on feature films like Hoppers. And maybe because one team that would have made a short for the film was already working on the Win or Lose TV series, it ultimately meant that there was no time, money, or resources to make a short to put in front of Hoppers. Which honestly, I'm cool with that, but it did feel like something about this Pixar showing was missing with the lack of a short. I just think that's so interesting because even the gosh dang SpongeBob movie that recently came out, Search for SquarePants, had a short in front of it, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle short. I mean, SpongeBob gets a short, but gosh dang, Pixar doesn't. What kind of weird timeline are we living in? That's all I'm gonna say. But anywho, the actual movie Hoppers. I thought this was a really good movie. Um, did I think it was one of the best Pixar films ever made? I'm not going to go that far, but I will say that it was very fun. It was very creative. It was unlike any other animated film I've seen before in recent memory. And it just was very inventive. And I enjoyed it for just being a really unique animated film, and especially an original animated film, especially in a day and age where we're getting literally just sequel after sequel, you know. But I'm glad that original animation is still, you know, staying strong and persisting in a time of, you know, overly safe decision making for studios. So I think that's great. Um, but yes, I did enjoy this movie. It's like about a girl who grows up to love nature because of her grandmother, but the location that she enjoyed hanging out with her grandmother is under threat by the mayor of the town she lives in, who wants to build a like you know a driveway through the location, and they intentionally decided to have all wildlife like run out. Um, and so this girl, she's trying to get the beavers to come back to um, make their environment again. But then, through a series of events, she finds out that her college scientists are actually creating this new technology that allows them to observe nature without intruding on wildlife by zapping their consciousness into robot beaver bodies and robot animal bodies. So she decides to use this technology to convince the animals of the areas she lives in to come and bring the location back to life. And then all kinds of conspiracies are revealed, and truths and turns, and different fun little you know things happen. And overall, it's a really interesting film. I really liked it. I I would say it's a solid 8 out of 10 for me personally. Like, would I say like it's one of the greatest Pixar films ever? Like, it's definitely not Ratatouille good. It's definitely not Incredibles 1 good. But on the totem pole, I'd put it in the realm of Brave good, or what's something else? I guess maybe a slight notch above Monsters University good, because at least Hoppers is an original idea instead of just being a prequel. So yeah, that's about as much as I'm going to say about it. Um, if you like fun, inventive animation, definitely check it out. It is really engaging and fun if you're into that. Well, my mom also seemed to enjoy it too. She did tell me she really liked the movie. We then walked out of the theater. We drove off. We arrived home. I decided to get some rice and beans from the stovetop, And then me and my mom watched a little mini documentary about giants that were living in the Alabama like mound areas, and for whatever reason, like the existence of these giants, like the physical evidence is being hidden, and it's very odd that that's even happening. Like, why is physical evidence of these things being hidden? It's really weird. You even have reports and testimony of people in the comment section stating that when they were younger, they like saw museum displays and the skeletons were indeed up on display. So it is very strange how the Alabama mound giants are being hidden from the public. Like, what would be the reason to do that? Isn't history important to know? I don't know. It's very odd. But anywho, after that, my mom went to sleep. I went to use the restroom, and when I came out, I just got into a little UFO binge where I was listening to an Eyes on Cinema, where television reports were happening, where different people who supposedly had encounters with extraterrestrial beings were being interviewed. And as I was listening to that, I was just bored eating. I was eating pepperoni. I was eating Jello. I was drinking powdered lemonade, um, mixed in water, of course. I also had a little bit of cheese, like, and a little bit of a Coke Zero with a bit of a vanilla flavoring in it. So I kind of just went crazy with the food I consumed. It was honestly bananas how much I ate, for sure. Probably shouldn't eat that much so late at night. Then my sister arrived. I told her my opinions on the Hoppers movie. She said her one of her reasons for not going was because she was worried it was like going to be made by AI. But me and my mom did sit through the credits of the film, and I don't remember seeing anything AI related in there. So yeah, I could confirm to her that there was no AI involved in the making of the film. Um, so yeah, she also said that she wanted some chump change saved up for when she travels with my middle sister to the con they're going to. So I totally got it. But yeah, and then we just had a nice conversation. I took my vitamins. I brushed my teeth. I took my prescribed mouthwash, and then I decided to record this update video. So that's pretty much the day in a nutshell. Thank you for tuning in. Very much do appreciate it. I'm going to go to bed now. Take care and good night.